Tutto questo per dirvi che questo documentario riesce a raccontarci la vita di un grande compositore con molta leggerezza, con molta ironia, con molto divertimento. C'è ancora gente che pensa che la musica di Bach sia noiosa, un documentario come questo invece serve a capire quanto la musica di Bach sia moderna e quanto non sia affatto noiosa. La modernità di Bach ci viene raccontata ad esempio da alcuni jazzisti che dicono che l'improvvisazione o il basso continuo che faceva parte delle sue composizioni sono state poi copiate nei pezzi di jazz che ci sono adesso, oppure ci fanno ascoltare le suonerie dei cellulari che utilizzano le sue fughe, o per esempio una piccola cantata, la cantata del caffè, che è un esempio, uno dei primi esempi di musica pubblicitaria composta da Bach per un caffè dove appunto c'era un caffè molto buono e quindi questa cantata reclamizzava questo luogo dove andare a trovarsi la domenica mattina. Insomma, un modo di rendere più vicino Bach ai nostri giorni, un modo per ascoltare soprattutto molta musica di Bach.
Bach ist für mich der größte Komponist aller Zeiten. Wenn es auf Arbeit wieder mal stressig ist, hilft mir seine Musik, den Stress abzubauen und mich zu entspannen.
Je pense tout simplement que Bach étant un génie, et c'est la chose qui touche le plus, justement, c'est que la musique de Bach est naturelle.
Bach is for me the greatest genius in musical history, and it's because there's a fantastic balance between emotion and intelligence.
Ich weiß, dass er ein unfassbares Genie war, das Werke hervorgebracht hat, wo man eigentlich sich nicht vorstellen kann, wie das in einem Menschengehirn, in einem Menscheninneren entsteht.
Pedalitär. You can imagine that Bach, at his young age, was an enormous virtuosic player on the pedals, because later in his life people were talking about that he was surprising everybody with his enormous technique, playing quicker with the feet than other people could do with the hand. Of course, Bach had great lessons with people at his time. Think for Böhm, think for Reinken, think for his elder brother as well, but I think particularly he surpassed them all.
The study of keyboard music by writing a collection of pairs of pieces in every tonality, major and minor, up the scale. In each case, a fugue, in which a theme is worked out systematically and continually in all of the voices, is preceded by a prelude, which is often more harmonic in character and serves to introduce it. Bach entitled the collection The Well-Tempered Clavier, a title that appears to advocate a system of tuning keyboard instruments in which each tonality has a slightly different sound. Now, unlike other instruments, keyboards require the strings for each key, be it the white keys or the black ones, to be tuned in a predetermined way. If certain sounds are tuned to sound absolutely pure, then others will be wildly out of tune. Finding a tuning system in which everything is tolerable can be done in two ways. In one, the one used today, everything is slightly out of tune and to the identical degree. In Bach's time, however, the goal was to try to find a tuning system in which certain keys were more pure, which results in others being less so, but nonetheless tolerable. The revolution of such a tuning system consisted in allowing all these tonalities to be used alone and together for the first time. Music would never again be the same.
Les préludes et fugues de Bach sont très intéressantes et c'est une des raisons pour laquelle la musique de Bach peut se prêter au jeu du jazz. Par-dessus le marché, la façon d'écrire les basses de la musique de Bach, c'est le continuo. C'est très semblable aussi aux walking bass qui sont joués dans les musiciens de jazz. Je trouve que cette musique existe déjà dans la musique de Bach.
Bach wrote just the music, noten, no phrasing, nothing, just noten, and he felt that musicians must know how to do it. It's same in jazz. If in jazz you have just some few notes and everybody change it for themselves.
In the summer, the young Prince Leopold would go to the fabulous spa town of Karlsbad. Bach went with him during 2 summers. The quality of the water was not the only thing that contributed to everyone having a splendid time.
It's written for a very, very specific creed, a very, very specific type of believer, and yet the sheer musicality of his output is such that you don't need to be a believing Christian, you don't need to be a Lutheran, you don't need to be a trained organist or a trained singer to subscribe to the emotions that are imbued by Bach in this music, and also to sense the euphoria and the ecstasy of his music.
Weiche Sensibilität und Empfänglichkeit und Mitschwingungsfähigkeit im Emotionalen, wie auch Leidenschaftlichkeit, Kampfgeist und Auseinandersetzungsbereitschaft, wenn es ihm um eine wichtige Sache ging. Da stellt er sich also mit vollem Engagement dahinter und kämpft dann auch. Da können auch scharfe Worte einmal fallen, ja, wenn es ihm wichtig ist, oder wenn er sich mit Dummheit und Borniertheit auseinandersetzen muss und Unfähigkeit, kann ihm der Kragen platzen. Das ist also in diesem dynamischen Temperament unbedingt enthalten. Aber er hat eben auch die andere Seite, die Wärme, die Kontaktfähigkeit, auch Genussfähigkeit und Freude am Leben, die also Streitsucht, Zänkischkeit einfach ausschließen. Das ist unhaltbar, diese Merkmale als wesensbestimmend für Bach hinzustellen. Geht einfach graphologisch überhaupt nicht zu belegen.
Als man sich im Jahre 1894 dazu entschloss, die sterblichen Überreste Johann Sebastian Bachs auszugraben, stieß man an der angegebenen Stelle auf einen Eichensarg, der das Skelett eines etwa 70-jährigen Mannes enthielt. Der Anatom Wilhelm Hiss wurde herangezogen, um die Gebeine als die Johann Sebastian Bachs zu identifizieren. Er zog dazu das Hausmannporträt, das einzig authentische Altersbildnis Johann Sebastian Bachs, heran und konnte zeigen, dass die Schädelformen mit denen des Porträts weitgehend übereinstimmten.
Bach's skull was by no means normal in appearance, and certainly many of the aspects of the brain that are linked to hearing and auditory processing were clearly abnormally enlarged, so much so that they had left abnormal markings on the inside of the skull. So, for example, the temporal lobes of the brain, which are the parts of the brain that sit nearest the ears, and other parts involved with auditory processing, listening to music and analysing it or listening to sounds, were clearly abnormally enlarged in Bach. And also the cochlea, which is the inner ear, again the part involved in decoding sounds, was also abnormally large. Now, this raises a very interesting question, which is, where does this lead us in terms of understanding the neurophysiology of musical genius? Is it the case that Bach was born, as it were, with a musical brain, or was it the case that listening and being involved in music over many years actually altered his brain architecture?
Bach found a new challenge when he took over the direction of the Collegium Musicum, or Music Society, in Leipzig. The concerts were held once a week at Zimmermann's Coffee House. In 1735, Bach wrote his coffee cantata, a kind of commercial for Zimmermann's business. At the end of Bach's life, he was working on 3 projects, each of which represents a summation of his artistic aspirations: the B minor Mass, the 18 Leipzig organ chorales, and the art of fugue. The last of these presents an exhaustive demonstration of all the contrapuntal styles of the 17th and 18th centuries. Fugues that work right side up and upside down, canons in which the imitations work at different distances between the voices, and single to quadruple fugues. All of these are based on a single theme. The last of these is a quadruple fugue whose third subject is based upon the musical tones of Bach's name. In German, B stands for B flat and H for B natural. B, A, C, H. And the last theme was to be the main one. The autograph of this fugue is incomplete, but the fact that Bach had started to have the work engraved makes it clear that he had already worked out the ending, whether or not he actually notated it. Neither the autograph nor the published version, which is slightly shorter than the manuscript, transmit the final section of the fugue, which breaks off immediately after the first three subjects have been combined. 100 pieces of music. His influence has been immeasurable. From Mozart, Beethoven, Mendelssohn, Liszt, and Mahler, to Schoenberg, Stravinsky, Berg, and such modern-day masters as Boulez. Virtually no musician over the past 250 years has been unaffected by Bach's music. His compositions are undoubtedly among the most intellectually and technically challenging in the history of music, yet they have the most profound and moving effect on their listeners. The complexity of Bach's work not only reflects his own extraordinary quest for perfection, it reveals a technical mastery over almost every facet of his musical heritage. Moreover, he placed this mastery in the service of a philosophical, intellectual, and above all, spiritual depiction and contemplation of the human experience.
Das ist vielleicht das größte Phänomen an Bach, dass er immer wieder neu erstrahlt. Also man betrachtet jedes Mal ein Stück wieder von einer anderen Seite, so wie ein Kristall, und er funkelt eben anders.
Ce qui m'intéresse le plus chez Bach, c'est qu'il englobe d'une façon inégalée tellement d'aspects différents de l'art. On pourrait dire que c'est comme un cadre autour de toute la création et tout est dedans.